Jaws, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Did you ever have a teammate who was out of control, couldn't help himself?
First of all, Dan, great to be with you once again, and happy holidays to you and your listeners. And how much time do we have? Because I could probably go through a litany of players that were nothing but a pain in the butt. So it's something you have to deal with.
But you have this at Duke where you have a really talented player in Grayson Allen, team captain, and this is the third time he's been caught tripping somebody. What do you do? I mean, they're going to take away playing time from him, and that usually is the one that gets everybody's attention, but I don't even know if that's going to work.
Well, you certainly hope it works, and Mike Krzyzewski is one of the great coaches in the history of college basketball, and he knows how to deal with his players. And the one thing that does hurt players at any level is not being on the court. You want to play or you want to be on the field. That's why you're getting involved with sports, to compete. And everyone loves the competition, but there's always a fine line. And certainly Grayson has now overstepped that fine line for the third time. I looked at that replay about 50 times this morning, and you could see it was a clear trip. Once the offensive player got by him, he clearly reached out and tripped him. So there's a fine line between being competitive and doing stupid things, and Coach K will handle that.
It reminds me of Ndamukong Suh. He can't really help himself. Vontaze Burfict seems to be caught in this. Draymond Green with the Golden State Warriors. They're just players who just can't help themselves, that they're somehow involved in something.
Dan, there are a lot of players like that. I mean, and I wasn't joking when I said I could probably spend your whole show talking about guys and the way you whip yourself up into a frenzy before you go on the field. And football might be a little bit different because of the violent nature of the game and the physical nature of the game. I've seen guys punch lockers before they walk on the field, literally punch them with their hand. I've seen guys put their helmet on in front of me before going on the field and bang their head against a concrete wall to see stars before they go on the field. This is what guys do to get themselves ready to go out and compete at the highest level. And it's sometimes hard to control these guys.
He's Ron Jaworski, the NFL analyst for the Mothership. What do you think NFL scouts, coaches, GMs are going to do when it comes to the name Joe Mixon at Oklahoma with his NFL future, with first-round talent as a running back?
Yeah, it's probably not necessarily going to be the pro scouts. These are the types of situation where team owners get involved. What is your philosophy as far as dealing with players that have a checkered past? So, he's obviously going to grade very high. He's a talented football player, but this goes way up the food chain, and it may even end up at the commissioner's office. These are the types of things where the league literally has to sign off before you say this is a guy you want in our league or on any team in our league.
This game tonight, I know when the Eagles started off strong, I cautioned everybody to say it shouldn't be this easy for Carson Wentz, and they haven't played anybody. Now we've sort of seen everybody fall back to earth here. What's it say about Carson Wentz, what's happened in the last 10 weeks, 11 weeks?
Well, Carson Wentz is going to be a superstar in this league. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind, and I felt that when I went out to Fargo and watched his pro day and spent time with him, his coaches, the people in the North Dakota State University program, a great program, by the way. This kid has got all the talent. He's been asked to do far too much as the Eagles quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks ago, dropping back 63 times with limited offensive weapons. And he's been asked to lead this team as a rookie. And no rookie is, ever going to step into an NFL huddle and be the leader of the football team. And he's been asked to do that, and I think he's done an admirable job. He certainly has all the talent. You could watch him. You could see all the throws. You see the movement, the arm strength, the accuracy, and he will get better. There are still things that he needs to tweak in his game. His mechanics are flawed sometimes. He needs to be more consistent in his throwing slot and his footwork and his upper body. That will all come with a good offseason of NFL coaching. And, Frank Reich is in Philadelphia. John DeFilippo's the quarterback's coach. They've got good coaches. Now what they have to do with the quarterback position being a dependent position, Dan, you depend on other people. He needs a better supporting cast as far as wide receivers go.
If you swap Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, what would be the story?
Probably be about the same. I think both are terrific quarterbacks. I think Dak Prescott was probably a bigger surprise, but he went into an unbelievably great position in Dallas. Arguably the league's best offensive line. They take Ezekiel Elliott at number 4. They've got a tremendous possession receiver in Jason Witten to control the hash area. You got a Des Bryant, a Cole Beasley, who is one of the guys that's been one of the unsung heroes of this season. You throw to this guy, he catches about, every time you target him, he catches about 9 out of 10. So he's a guy that is literally uncoverable. So when I look at Prescott, the situation was perfect for him. He got lucky when Tony Romo went down. But I think clearly believe a guy like Carson Wentz could have gone into that situation and played just as well.
We had this discussion yesterday. You can have Ezekiel Elliott or Le'Veon Bell.
Wow. Oh, that's real easy.
Yeah.
I will say this. When I watched Zeke coming out last year and studied his tape, I thought he was the best player coming out last year. So I'm not surprised the Dallas Cowboys felt that highly about him. But most teams are devaluing running backs over the last few years. But this guy is special. And the reason I really liked him, not only the running ability, the receiving ability, his ability to pick up the blitz. And that is so critical at the NFL level, to be smart and intelligent, to read where those linebackers and safeties and slants and stunts and twists are coming from. He's an intelligent player that can block. So to me, he's kind of the complete package. I would probably lean slightly towards Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay. Here was our other discussion. Odell Beckham Jr. or Julio Jones?
I'm a Julio Jones guy, and I think Odell Beckham is a tremendous, tremendous player. But when you watch Julio Jones, I think on a consistent basis, he's much more of a contributor. And it's clear that there's a special chemistry that Matt Ryan and Julio Jones have that is tough to defend. And I think, Beckham, for all the great plays that he does make and the great talent he has, sometimes disappears for a while in the games.
All right, here's another one for you. I know why John Gruden would stay broadcasting. Tell me why he would leave to take the Rams, John.
It's real simple. He loves football and he loves coaching, and I can almost equate it to the Dick Vermeil. Dick Vermeil stayed out 15 years before he came back and ended up winning a Super Bowl. And I talk to Coach Vermeil on a regular basis, almost weekly. And when you love the game of football, like a Dick Vermeil loves the game and a John Gruden loves the game, there's a part of you that always wants to get back in there. And hey, I don't know what John's going to do. I know how much he loves his job at ESPN. He's absolutely phenomenal at what he does. But there's some unfulfillment. See, I can't go back and play. I'm done. But if you're a coach, you can go back and coach.
Yeah.
So I think that fire always burns.
But he has to be in love with Jared Goff, though.
Well,
right?
I think quite honestly, Dan, I think any quarterback, that is on a team that a coach is looking to come to, it's got to be a guy you believe in. And we all know this is a quarterback-driven game. It gives you your best percentage chance of being successful. And any coach that looks at a coaching opportunity, you want to evaluate the quarterback. And I know John from his quarterback camp. He loved Jared Goff. He loved Carson Wentz. So those are guys I know that were high in his platform in regards to guys he'd eventually like to coach.
Josh, good to talk to you. Have fun tonight with the Eagles and the Giants. Tell Sal and Merrill that we said hello.
We love doing that show, the matchup. So don't miss it, folks. It's the best X's and O's show you'll ever see.
Thank you, Jaws.
Thanks, Dan. Happy holidays.
You too.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.